Oh, what the
And it was so boring.
Is that what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
I hate them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That was so awful.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of See It, Stream It, Skip It, the Metro News affiliated movie podcast. I'm your host, as always, Ethan Collins, and joined alongside me is my co-host, Celeste Ellis. How are you doing today, Celeste?
Oh, I'm excellent.
We are fresh off the theater and recording this episode. This will obviously come out on our usual Thursday at 8 a.m., but we're recording this on a Monday at 10, a quarter after 10, fresh out of the movie theater after we have seen Masters of the Universe.
It's kind of good that we're doing this immediately after seeing the movie, because we've been seeing so many movies recently that they're kind of running together in my head a little bit. So I'm glad to get this out of the way fresh.
Speaking of running into your head real quickly, are you ready to get started with Pressure running to your head?
Absolutely.
All right, let's roll the trailer.
D-Day will be the largest seaborne invasion in history. Captain Stark, you're the best meteorologist in the country. I need a forecast. You've got 61 hours.
There are two major storms stretching across the Atlantic to Normandy.
We should go, sir.
I couldn't disagree more.
If D-Day is cancelled, we will lose this war.
If you invade tomorrow, they're going to be washed away.
Go or don't go.
We must face the facts.
He's gonna crack.
Why should I trust you?
Because the wrath of nature is real.
Pressure, directed by Anthony Maras and starring Andrew Scott, Brendan Fraser, Carrie Condon, and Chris Messina. The hours before D-Day, one decision changed the world. In the tense 72 hours before D-Day, and with the fate of the free world hanging in the balance, the film follows General Dwight D. Eisenhower and Captain James Stagg, a meteorologist from Scotland, as they face an impossible choice: launch the most dangerous and largest seaborne invasion in history, or risk losing the war altogether. So, with that being said, this sounds really tense, right, Celeste? It sounds like anything with D-Day has to be really intense. It's a war movie. It is to a point, but at the same time, you kind of just know going into this that it's going to be a stress-free watch. You know what happens in this movie, but that doesn't make it, I guess, less important of what the story is about.
Yeah, I described this as similar to the movie Air. You know, I knew that it all worked out for Michael Jordan and Nike, but the movie is still an enjoyable watch. With this, I know what happens on D-Day. I know that they actually do launch the strike. But seeing the behind the scenes is still an interesting story. Getting to sit with these characters as they make really, really massive decisions, I think is still a little bit thrilling, even if you know what's going to happen.
So let's go dive into the cast real quick, and then we'll kind of get into the particulars of the plot and maybe into the filmmaking of the, I guess, D-Day scenes as they were. Because I guess we're going to kind of get into spoilers in this episode, but it's not really spoilers. You guys know what happens in this, so it's not feeling like we're spoiling anything for you. We're just going to tell you our opinion on how things looked compared into the movie, as I guess a fellow millennial and Gen Zer would describe D-Day and how it would look in the brutality of it. But let's get into the cast first. Andrew Scott, not really known for his leading roles as Captain James Stagg, but he does lead this film, and I think he does do a fantastic job in the leading role.
I think you're calling him a lesser-known actor, but I think for the audiences who have seen Fleabag, that he is a star for people who have watched that series. His role on that series, I think, is his breakout role. And
okay, big screen leading role.
Fine, but he is, I think, fantastic in this. I think he shows a sort of quiet restraint that's probably commonplace of the time. He is very matter of fact. I love that this is a character who is not necessarily likable, but who is going based on his moral compass and what he knows is right. So, is he a feel-good, charming lead? No. But are you captivated by this character? Yes.
Let's also address the elephant in the room that Captain James Stagg has other things going on in his life that is under immense pressure, no pun intended, that is going on outside of the job that he has been tasked into getting this forecast together to whether they launch the D-Day attack invasion or not. He's dealing with family issues, not like between him and his spouse, but, you know, with the ongoings of war and how it is to be a civilian in this war that is so detrimental to most of Europe.
And he's living in Great Britain, so he, as well as his wife, are under attack from bombings. So that's a part of the story. That's like the background information, is that he is separated from his wife. Great Britain is under attack. He has to deal with not only managing a team of meteorologists who are making the most important decision of the war, but he also has to do that at a really stressful time for him personally.
Let's talk about the other meteorologist that I listed in the main casting in Chris Messina. I know you are a big Chris Messina guy. I like other projects that he's done, Birds of Prey not being one of them, but that's neither here nor there. But Chris Messina brings a quiet kind of I don't really know how arrogance to this movie.
I would say it's not a quiet arrogance. I would say it's a loud arrogance.
Yeah.
He is a very American stereotype, I think. He's very charming. He's very boisterous. He's very confident. He is sort of the charming, outspoken character to balance the other characters' like quiet reserve. So I think that Chris Messina brings a lot to this film. I didn't expect that the biggest conflict in the film was going to come between the two meteorologists.
Yeah. How can you make meteorology exciting? Have the two meteorologists have a bickering against each other. But another thing, I'm glad you brought that point up about him being the classic American charm sort of thing. Chris Messina has one of the biggest ranges that I've ever seen from an actor. I talked about how I didn't like his Birds of Prey character, but that has more to do with the character rather than the actor. And he plays a very weird psychopath sort of killer in Victor Zsasz. Then we talk about, remind me again of this series that you had me watch that I absolutely loved him as a police detective.
Sharp Objects.
Thank you. Sharp Objects plays a police detective under an immense amount of stress. Played that role absolutely fantastic. I mean, if there was an Oscar you would for limited series, I guess you could say, I feel like he would definitely be in the contention for that role. And then this, you play a charming, back in the 40s sort of American, and he plays that extremely well as to a point, and it's just amazing at the range that Chris Messina has.
I also mentioned Air earlier. And
Oh,
he,
yes.
He is in Air as Michael Jordan's agent, as his very smarmy agent, and I love him in that role also.
An arrogant narcissist?
I am a big Chris Messina head. Like, I think he's great in everything. I think without Chris Messina, this movie would be boring. Sorry to say that, but I think without his conflict that he brings, without his charming qualities, I think this movie would be a little bit of a slog.
Carrie Condon, who has jumped out onto the scene live action wise in her breakout, I guess you could say, role in F1, one of your favorite movies of the year. Definitely one of our who will come on to be a guest host at some point, Christina Snyder. Definitely her favorite movie of the year. But you also might know her voice as Friday in Avengers, which is the voiceover computer voice that took over for Jarvis. But Carrie Condon has absolutely smashed it out of the park in this one too.
Yeah, also another TV star, because she's in Peaky Blinders. I think that's probably what she's most famous for.
Sorry, I've never seen it.
So a lot of TV actors, I think, who have turned out a lot of great performances, but maybe not had a starring role in a film, doing great things. Carrie Condon always brings a lot of charm to any project she's a part of.
And empathy.
Mm-hmm. She always kind of plays the voice of reason. She is the audience insert, I think, to some degree in this film. But she's excellent.
All right, let's talk about the big name actor with the big name character, General Dwight D. Eisenhower, played by Brendan Fraser. What did you think?
This isn't my favorite performance of Brendan Fraser. I think because he is a very
likable human being,
yes,
a nice human being,
and very gentle seeming. He seems like a very, even when he is playing an action hero or a tough guy, he seems very good-natured and sweet. And so I think to counteract sort of his physical presence, he tries to really raise his voice. He's yelling this entire film, and not in a way that's convincing, in a way that just feels like, I've got to seem scary, so I'm going to yell.
Damian Lewis was one of the people that I did not list on the cast list. He has a very minor role, but
he's giving it, though.
Yeah.
He took a minor part and said, I'm going to absolutely crush this, and he really does. He's doing a very convincing upper crust English accent. He is playing, the classic British soldier who is ready to go even if the weather isn't going to cooperate.
No matter the weather.
He thinks that with enough might, you can overcome bad circumstances, and he just needs the voice of reason to kind of prove that that's not going to happen.
The ultimate one-liner side actor, Con O'Neill, is also in this movie, and I have to give him a shout-out because anytime I hear his voice, it makes me laugh, and it did yet again in this movie.
I think he's awesome. I love hearing his very unique, distinctive voice. Anytime he appears in a project, I'm happy to see him.
When are they going to put him in a Pixar movie?
I don't know if he has a Pixar voice.
You don't think he has a Pixar voice?
No.
I think he's got a Bug's Life voice in him if they did like a Bug's Life sequel, a long-awaited Bug's Life sequel.
If you're unfamiliar with the actor, I think if you heard his voice, you would probably recognize it. He's very raspy. He was in The Batman. But yeah, he does a great... I think everyone is doing a really great job here, kind of with the exception of Brendan Fraser. And I really hate to say that because I really like him.
He's just being Brendan Fraser.
I just think that he wasn't a perfect casting for Eisenhower. I don't think he has the sort of roughness that you need to be Eisenhower. But
That's fair. Okay, so final verdict here. Do you see this, do you stream this, or do you skip this?
This is probably a stream for me. I will say that the effects look great on a large screen. Both the weather effects and the small snippets that we get of D-Day. We don't see a ton of D-Day action. The action that we do see is really well shot. It looks great. They do some sort of filter to make all the footage look really vintage. So I think it's shot really well. I think it looks great. I honestly think I liked the weather portions more than I liked the D-Day scenes as far as being impressed with effects. So it does look great on a big screen, but I think for me this is probably a stream it.
I tend to agree with that as well. I think the main reason why I also say do a stream it is that the audience that this caters to is more of a stream it sort of audience, or I guess you could say wait till it's on DVD or whatever. I mean, this is going to cater to an older history buff sort of audience, but this is going to be played in a lot of history classrooms.
Well, I will say one thing that I think was an advantage for the screening that we saw. It was a screening with captions turned on, and I think having the captions really helps because sometimes the British accents are really intense, and I think you miss a little bit if you're not also reading the words. You know, you miss a little bit it's English to English, but you still lose something in translation.
Understood. All right. When we come back, we will discuss Masters of the Universe here on See It, Stream It, Skip It.
Adam, when you hold the magic sword, what do you say?
By the power of Grayskull.
Go on. Now you're ready.
It seems the prodigal prince has returned.
I am a devil, but I mean to be a god.
What am I supposed to do?
You are he who will restore peace to Eternia.
Skeletor took my family, and he destroyed our world.
I'm gonna fight for it.
Let me show you what real power looks like.
My time for talk is over.
Masters of the Universe, directed by Travis Knight and starring Nicholas Galitzine, Camila Mendes, Idris Elba, Jared Leto, and Allison Brie. Witness how he became He-Man. After being separated for 15 years, the Sword of Power leads Prince Adam back to Eternia, where he discovers his home shattered under the fiendish rule of Skeletor. To save his family and world, Adam must join forces with his closest allies, Teela, Duncan, Man-at-Arms, and embrace his true destiny as He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Thoughts on that synopsis?
It's a good synopsis. This is very high camp.
And they embrace it.
They really lean into the goofiness in a way that I think is sort of refreshing. It's like self-aware. So
doesn't take itself too seriously,
right,
but knows what the fans want.
But they also, I think, put time and care into their performances. The effects look really good, I think. Most of the movie is CGI, but I think it looks nice. I really like the actor that plays Adam / He-Man. I know that I have been raving about the Sheep Detectives. He's in that one. I liked his character in that one. I liked him a lot in this. I'm really liking this actor, and I hope that this is the start of a really nice career for him because he has a real charm, I think.
Yeah, Nicholas Galitzine is he says it's a Russian name, but he's got a British voice and a British accent, and he kind of uses it in Sheep Detectives, but uses an American accent in this one. You can tell that he has a wide range of voices that he can go with.
I honestly would have thought that the English accent was fake in Sheep Detectives and that this was his real accent, but it's actually the reverse.
Yeah. And he is absolutely jacked, and I don't mind saying this, he's pretty to look at in this movie.
He's yoked. This man is really giving that He-Man body type that I think everyone was expecting. I don't know if that's genuine or if they used special effects to
from the most
enhance the look, but he does look like an action figure.
From the most part, it actually sounds like when they were talking about this that he did get in rigorous training in shape for this movie. And that brings one of my problems with the movie is that they keep hinting that he's not jacked and he's not strong when he's in normal human form. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, there is a jacked man under that shirt and you are not doing a good job
hiding it. I kept thinking the same thing. I was like, why didn't they hire a small-bodied actor to do...
Like a Chris Evans sort of CGI?
A Captain America situation, because it's the same sort of premise as Captain America, First Avenger, that he's very scrawny and weak.
With Thor powers.
With secret powers that cause him to be jacked. But the way they cover up his frame is by putting him in a loose button-up. It's not convincing. I can still tell that his shoulders are 4 feet wide. Like, it's not doing what they think it's doing.
Camila Mendez plays probably the second most speaking lines in this movie, and I think she does a really good job. She kind of plays the best friend type, and she's not your typical love interest or female side character / love interest. She actually plays an important role and doesn't lean into that.
Can I just back up again to the he's supposed to be scrawny thing?
Yeah.
So there's a scene where he's in a gym and he asks someone for advice for beginners, and it's like I wanted it to be realistic, and I wanted the person to be like, I don't think you need any tips. You're there. Like, you're huge.
Do you want to say who was there giving him tips?
I don't want to spoil that. It's kind of a
fair.
fun reveal. But yeah, I was like, I bet there are behind the scenes like bloopers where he just goes, I don't think you need any tips.
That's fair.
But Camila Mendez, she's excellent. I like her in this. Like you said, she's a very good sidekick. She's a little more than that. She's sort of driving the plot forward, but I think she's great in that role. I wish they would have given her a little more to do earlier on in the film, but a lot of this we're seeing his sort of life on Earth before he makes it back to Eternia, so she's not in it for the full run of the film. Hopefully, if there is a sequel, I think she'll maybe even have a bigger role, but she does a great job.
The weakest job, in my opinion, and maybe you'll disagree with me here, is Idris Elba.
Yeah, I agree completely. I was thinking that the whole time, that I felt like he was doing an impression of someone else.
Bloodsport from the Suicide Squad. It was recycle and rinse and repeat Bloodsport.
Yeah, I also, when he stepped away from the MCU, I really wanted him to take on roles that were very different, and I feel like he has just sort of played the same guiding character to a hero. And I honestly think his range is more than that, and I really think that this was a poor performance on his end. Like I said, I also really like Idris Elba. I hate that the two people I'm coming down so hard on are Brendan Fraser and Idris Elba, two actors that I really, really like and think do good work. But I agree with you. I think it was the weakest performance.
The strongest performance.
I hate to say this.
Oh, I have no problem in saying this.
I
understand why, but Jared Leto is fantastic in this movie.
He really is.
It felt like, first off, I probably should have said this from the beginning, but Travis Knight who is the director of this movie, I felt like Travis Knight looked at Jared Leto and said, "Do what you do. Go nuts." And he did, and boy, does it pay off.
He's so over the top, but he is compelling and funny, and I did really like his performance. I think Jared Leto is like a complete weirdo, and I would never want to meet him in person. It kills me to say it, but he does a great job here.
Well, I think you have to be a little bit weirdo and just kind of almost take yourself too seriously in a role like this to a point. I don't think he realizes that it's an absolute joke, his role.
I think he does. I think he has like the appropriate level of like, this is ridiculous, but I'm going to play it like I think it is the most serious role I've ever had.
I think he also recycles his Haunted Mansion voice, just rinse and repeat. But I like that in this one. He takes that cartoon laugh of Skeletor, to me, will be forever iconic. And he doesn't try to imitate that as much as he does. He really just goes and makes it his own.
The essence is there, but it's completely unique to him.
I think he's an underrated Joker, in my opinion. Oh, boy. Did I open a can of worms there?
He does a good job in this movie.
Yes, he does a great job in this movie.
I like him as sort of a cartoonish villain.
We were talking about this before we went on to talk about the podcast. You think he uses a body double?
Yeah, I would suspect that he is doing voiceover work only. I would suspect that this is a body double, somebody who is really skilled at motion capture. I would assume that it's someone, quite frankly, that they could pay less than Jared Leto. So,
well, I'll let you in on a little spoiler. He does not use a body double in this movie.
Wow, I'm really surprised by that.
He basically he was in person with kind of a green screen mask around him, and he walked around and played the character, memorized his lines, and did the acting himself.
Well, that's impressive. I honestly did think that the body acting was really impressive. Obviously, you can't get a lot of expression out of a skull face. You know, Skeletor doesn't have a normal expressionist face. So
he does wear a body suit, if you were curious.
Well, so I do think that you're getting a lot of the emotion and intent from the way that he uses his voice and from the way that he uses his body language. And I did think those were really great. I think it really brought a lot to the character.
All right. Final verdict on this one. Do you see this? Do you stream this? Or do you skip this?
So for me, this is a specific see it. If you were a fan of the cartoon or the live action movie, I think you'll like this. If you are like 9 to 13, I also think you'll really like this. Even girls, I think it's just like the amount of silliness and humor that like preteens would find compelling, or at least I think I would have if I were, 9 to 13. For everyone else, stream it if you're curious. You're not going to miss out on the masterpiece of the summer if you skip this one. So if you have any interest, it's worth seeing. It does look really good in theater, and our particular theater experience was really fun because everybody in our theater was really into it. Like, people clapped after it was over, and that hasn't happened to me in a really long time in a theater. So I think if you just kind of want something campy and a little bit ridiculous, you might like this one.
I was about to say, if you go into this with an open mind and don't take it too seriously, you're going to get pleasantly surprised. With that being said, though, as a normal moviegoer, maybe a once-a-month sort of person, I would say stream this at home. But it is definitely worth seeing once it comes on a streaming service.
Yeah, if you're really penny pinching your trips to the theater, save your dollars for another show. But if you go all the time, this is a fine enough movie.
All right, we'll be back to close things out here on See It, Stream It, Skip It. Wrapping things up here on episode 5 of See It, Stream It, Skip It. And we have some exciting things coming up next week. It'll probably be 2 episodes because we have a bonus episode coming out next week. Probably do that I'm doing this live on air here of scheduling things. So when do you want to come out with the bonus episode? Do you want to do it Friday after the release of our regular scheduled programming episode? Next week we will be talking about Backrooms, a horror movie which is blowing up right now. We have already seen it. And of course, the highly anticipated Steven Spielberg returning to his alien roots in Disclosure Day.
I'm very excited to see Disclosure Day. The closer it gets to releasing, the more good things I'm hearing about it. So that can be a gift and a curse. I don't want to go in expecting too much and be disappointed, but also I want to get excited to see a Steven Spielberg movie in the theaters again.
That's another reason why I wanted to wait to release the bonus episode to after Disclosure Day, because you never know. It could get into our top 5 of Steven Spielberg movies that we have on our bonus episode.
Always a possibility.
All right. So, any final thoughts before we wrap things up and I plug the podcast for previous episodes?
No, there are a lot of things in theaters right now. I think if you're a person who enjoys going to the movies, you have a lot of different options. There are movies that are out for kids right now. There are family movies. There's a lot happening. I mean, summer is wonderful for movies. So there is something in a theater near you that's going to pique your interest. So, go out and do your part to keep theater alive.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to pull up all of our things right now. For the kiddos, you could definitely go and see Mandalorian or even this. That we just talked about in Masters of the Universe. Sheep Detectives, always good for the whole family. Obviously, it's not playing in a lot of theaters right now, but if it is playing in a theater and you haven't seen it, go see Sheep Detectives. Cannot emphasize that enough.
I cannot overstress. You should see the Sheep Detectives if you still can.
And then in the, I guess you could say rom-com or for the gals sort of movie, Devil Wears Prada or I Love Boosters.
Yeah, Devil Wears Prada 2 is still playing in a lot of theaters. So it's out there if you're looking for that sort of rom-com girls' night out type movie.
And hey, if you're looking for movies to avoid in the theater, might I suggest Mortal Kombat 2 or In the Gray. But anyways, that's going to do it for episode 5 of See It, Stream It, Skip It, and we will talk to you next week when we discuss Backrooms and Disclosure Day.